I thought I was crashing on the couch. But when the door creaked open at 2 a.m. and I saw him standing there shirtless, y'all, sleep was canceled. Like, subscribe and share this if you've ever been the +1 to a problem. I rolled into my brother's apartment late Friday night, thinking I'd just crash on his couch, catch some Netflix, maybe sneak in a nap before the party started. Easy weekend, right? Nope, not even close. As soon as I stepped in, there he was, my brother's roommate, Jake. Tall, tattooed, and looking like he'd just walked off the cover of some indie rock album. Shirt tight enough to see the definition in his arms. Hair all messy in that I just woke up but somehow look hotter than you kind of way. Jake gave me this slow, almost smug smile, like he already knew I wasn't just here for the couch. My stomach flipped. Okay, maybe I was. Definitely. Hey, he said, voice low and casual. You must be the famous little brother. Heard a lot. I laughed nervously. Yeah, that'd be me. The problem child, apparently. Jake shrugged like it was the best thing in the world. I'm Jake. Roommate, chief mischief maker, and occasional heartbreaker. I shook his hand, and damn, did his grip linger just a second too long. The night rolled on with me trying to stay out of everyone's way. But Jake had other plans. He pulled me into the living room, poured us some beers, and suddenly I was sharing way more about my life than I intended. He had this way of making you talk like you were his favorite game. And honestly, kinda liked it, just when I thought maybe this weekend wouldn't be so bad. The clock hit 2 a.m. and I heard the door creak open. Jake stood there, shirtless, all confidence and trouble wrapped in one. Sleep? Yeah, right. So, there I was, frozen like a deer caught in headlights when Jake appeared in the doorway, shirtless and dripping with that, I own this place energy. I swear, my brain short-circuited. Sleep was officially canceled. Can't sleep? He asked, stepping inside like the night belonged to him. I tried to play it cool. Yeah, just couldn't find the remote. Jake laughed. This deep, rolling chuckle that somehow made my heart skip. Then he flopped onto the couch right next to me, close enough that I could smell that faint hint of cologne mixed with something raw. Something him. He started asking me about my life. You know, the usual what brings you here stuff, but I swear, every question was a little more personal than the last. Before I knew it, I was spilling stories I hadn't told anyone in years. My messed up relationships, the time I accidentally set my kitchen on fire trying to cook, how I still get nervous calling my mom. Jake didn't just listen, he leaned in. Like every word was a secret he was desperate to hear. I wasn't sure if it was the beer or his magnetic vibe, but I felt safe. For the first time in a long time, maybe even felt hopeful. Hours passed and the night deepened. The world outside faded and it was just us, two guys wrapped in too much unsaid. I glanced over at him, catching him staring back with those intense eyes, and I thought, oh hell, this is going to get complicated. Well, if you're loving this wild ride, smash that like button, share with your friends, comment your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss what happens next. I swear, I tried to keep my cool that night, but Jake's presence was like a magnet I couldn't resist. Every time I looked at him, my brain shorted out, and my heart started racing like I just run a marathon. After what felt like hours of talking, laughing, and a few too many beers, the silence between us started to hum with something electric. You know that kind of silence? The kind that says everything you're too scared to say out loud? Jake shifted closer on the couch, and suddenly, the space between us vanished. I could feel the heat radiating off his skin, and damn, my pulse was pounding in my ears. Hey, he said softly, his voice low and rough. You're not like anyone I've met before. I swallowed hard, trying not to let the way he said it mess me up even more. Yeah? What's different about me? He smiled, a slow, wicked grin that made my stomach flip. You're real. No pretenses. No BS. My throat went dry. I wanted to say something clever, But instead, I just nodded, because deep down, I knew I was tired of pretending. Then, without warning, Jake reached out and brushed a stray lock of hair from my forehead. His fingers lingered, warm and sure, and that's when something inside me broke free. Before I could even process what was happening, his hand cupped my face, and his lips were on mine, soft, demanding, like he'd been waiting forever for this moment. I froze for a split second, the world spinning around us. Then I gave in. I kissed him back, slow and hungry, like it was the only thing that made sense. It was messy, imperfect, raw, but it was ours. The hours that followed are a blur of whispers, touches, and laughter. We fell onto the couch, tangled up and completely undone. It wasn't just about the physical, it was about connection, about two lost souls finding something real in the chaos. And yeah, maybe it was reckless, maybe it was crazy, but for the first time in a long time I felt alive. Morning hit like a sucker punch. I woke up tangled in Jake's arms, sunlight spilling through the blinds, casting stripes across his bare chest. For a split second, I forgot where I was, forgot the awkwardness, the risks, the fact that this was my brother's roommate. Jake's eyes fluttered open, and he smiled that same slow, knowing grin. Morning trouble. I laughed, heart thudding like crazy. Yeah, well, don't expect me to make breakfast. We stayed like that for a while, just talking, touching, trying to figure out how to navigate this new, fragile thing between us. But the reality was clear. If my brother found out, it'd be a disaster. And even if he didn't, how long before secrets like this started to eat us alive? Jake was different, though. He wasn't just some fling. I felt it deep down, the kind of connection that makes you forget everything else. But keeping it hidden? That was going to be hell. Later that day, we met up for coffee, pretending like nothing had happened, but every glance, every brush of hands was charged with a secret energy. I couldn't stop smiling like a fool. Are you crazy? I finally asked him when we were alone. This can't work. It's my brother's place. Jake shrugged, cool as ever. Then we're just gonna have to be really, really careful. Careful. Yeah, right. Days passed, and every moment I spent around Jake felt like walking a tightrope. The secret we shared between us wasn't just a whisper. It was a storm brewing under the surface, threatening to explode at any second. I found myself sneaking into his room late at night, pretending I was just dropping off something for my brother. But the real reason, to feel that electricity between us again, that heat that made my pulse race and my skin tingle. One night, I was waiting for him to finish up some work when the air shifted. His eyes caught mine across the room, dark and intense, and suddenly, it felt like we were the only two people in the world. Without saying a word, Jake crossed the distance, closing the gap until his fingers grazed my jaw, his touch sending shivers down my spine. We can't keep doing this, I whispered, heart pounding. Jake's lips curled into a slow smile, dangerous and tempting. Or maybe we can. Just keep doing it, every chance we get. My breath hitched as he leaned in, his mouth capturing mine in a kiss that was anything but gentle. It was urgent, raw, like he needed me as much as I needed him. We tumbled backward onto the bed, hands exploring, skin igniting. There was no room for hesitation, only the burning need that had been building between us since that first stolen moment. His hands traced every inch of me, memorizing, claiming. I gasped when he pressed deeper, the sensation overwhelming but electric. My name left his lips like a prayer, a promise, and I lost myself completely in the heat of it. But beneath the passion, a knot of fear twisted in my stomach. What would happen if my brother found out? Would Jake still want me then? Or would I be nothing more than a mistake? A secret he wished he'd never kept? For now, though, those worries melted away in the fire between us. There was only this moment, wild, reckless, beautiful. Keeping this secret was like carrying a weight I couldn't put down. Every time I saw my brother, every time I heard him talk about his plans or his trust in Jake, It felt like I was walking on glass. One night, after a long day, I was sprawled on the couch trying to act normal, when Jake slid in beside me. His hand found mine, fingers intertwining with a grip that said more than words ever could. "I can't stop thinking about you," he said quietly, voice thick with something raw. My chest tightened. "Me neither. But what are we doing? This can't stay hidden forever." Jake's eyes darkened. "Maybe it doesn't have to." That's when he kissed me. Slow, deep, like he was trying to burn this moment into my memory forever. But then reality crashed back in. My phone buzzed. A text from my brother. "Hey man, Jake's asking about you. You coming over for the game night?" I swallowed hard. That was the moment I realized how tangled this was, and how much I was risking. Still, the pull between Jake and me was too strong to ignore. We kept sneaking moments whenever we could. Stolen kisses in the kitchen. Secret texts filled with longing. Late-night calls where our voices trembled with need and fear. It was messy, complicated, and honestly a little terrifying. But it was also the most real thing I'd ever felt. Every time I thought we were just two guys sneaking around, Jake proved it wasn't that simple. It was a fire, burning hotter and faster than I ever expected, and there was no way to put it out. One evening, after a late-night dinner at his place, just supposed to be casual, I caught that look in his eyes. The one that said he wasn't done with me, not even close. He pulled me close, his breath warm against my ear. "You know this isn't just a fling, right?" My heart skipped. "I know." We moved to the couch, hands hungry, lips crashing together like we'd waited forever to say everything without words. His fingers tangled in my hair as I pressed my body against his, every inch screaming for more. "I don't care about the rules anymore," Jake whispered, voice low and desperate. "I want you, all of you." I didn't hesitate, couldn't. The way he looked at me like I was the only thing that mattered made me believe maybe we could rewrite the story just for us. When our bodies finally came together, it was more than just physical. It was confession, surrender, a wild leap into something unknown but electrifying. I screamed his name, not out of pain, but because every nerve in me was alive, every doubt and fear drowning in the flood of pure, burning passion. For one perfect night, the world outside didn't exist. There was only Jake and me, raw, wild, and beautifully real. Things between Jake and me weren't just secret anymore. They were real, undeniable. But keeping it under wraps was like trying to hold water in my hands. One night, after a few drinks at our favorite bar downtown, Jake leaned in close and said, "I'm tired of hiding. Don't you want more than just stolen moments?" I looked at him, heart pounding, because yes, I wanted more. But the fear was real. What if my brother found out? What if everything crashed down? But Jake's eyes were fierce. "I don't care about the risk. Not anymore. You're worth it." In that moment, I felt something break open inside me. The walls I'd built to keep everything safe were cracking. We left the bar, hands tight, breathless from the rush of it all. When we got back to his place, it wasn't just about passion anymore. It was about wanting to be seen, to be known. We talked until dawn, sharing secrets and dreams we'd never dared speak aloud. Jake's voice was soft but sure. "We can figure this out together." For the first time, I felt hope, fragile but fierce. We stayed curled up on that couch until morning light painted golden lines across Jake's living room wall. No alarms, no interruptions. Just the sound of his steady breathing, and the quiet magic of knowing we were no longer pretending. I don't know exactly when I drifted off, but when I woke up, Jake was still there, holding me like he meant it, like I wasn't just some secret hookup, but someone who mattered. We spent the weekend like that, cooking badly, laughing loudly, kissing like we'd never get the chance again. And for the first time, it felt like the world outside didn't matter. But it came knocking Monday morning. My brother showed up at Jake's door, early, unannounced, and pissed. "Where the hell have you been?" he snapped at me. "I've been calling you all weekend." Jake stepped forward before I could say a word. Calm, unshaken. He was here. With me. The silence stretched so tight it could snap. My brother looked between us, confusion dawning. Then a storm. You mean? Are you serious right now? I took a breath, held Jake's hand, and nodded. Yeah, I'm serious. We are. He didn't take it well. Slammed the door on the way out. But Jake didn't let go. Neither did I. The fallout wasn't easy. But something surprising happened. With time, honesty settled the dust. And even though some bridges burned, the ones that remained were stronger for it. Jake and I moved into a little apartment across town a few months later. Nothing fancy, just 2 windows, a crooked cabinet, and a room that felt like ours. Every now and then, I still catch myself staring at him across the kitchen, wondering how we got here. From that 2 a.m. knock on my brother's door, to building a life neither of us planned for, but both of us wanted more than anything. And if you've ever found something real in the most unexpected place, or dared to choose it despite the risks, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you never miss a story like this again. Because sometimes, the best kind of love is the one that nearly didn't happen at all.